Shalom family, I want to talk about what the world see us as. Remember I told you that because Yahushua was hated, we are hated. I'm going to tell you just how much the hate runs deep. And we're going to talk about a scripture that I think is very interesting, that they don't really talk about it as much, but I remember Pastor Darby preaching about this. And it's Joel 3 verse 3. They sold a boy for a prostitute and a girl for wine to drink. Now this is a prophetic condemnation Yahuwah gives to the prophet Joel, and it carries both literal and symbolic meaning. So let's talk about it. The historical text: in the ancient world, enemies who conquered Israel often treated the people with utter contempt. Captives, especially children, were sold into slavery or traded as if they were cheap property. Here the picture is extreme. Boys were traded for a night with a prostitute, and girls were exchanged just for a drink of wine. Now this is deep because I have sons, and I can't even imagine my sons doing this and my daughters going through this as well. That means the life of Yahuwah's people were considered so worthless that enemies gave them up for the lowest, most degrading pleasures. Let that sink in. What is the spiritual meaning? This reflects the devaluation of human life. Remember, they put that law in that we're 1/5 of a person, that we weren't considered human. Well, that's what they seen us as. Not human. So they devalued our life. When people reject Yahuwah, his covenant people were supposed to be precious, set apart, but enemies treated them as if they had no value, and we're still seeing it today. It also points to how sin cheapens everything. Lust and drunkenness become more important than the sacredness of human life. The verse exposes the depth of corruption. Pleasure was prioritized above justice, dignity, or righteousness. And Joel 3 is about the day of Yahuwah, when he will gather the nations for judgment because of how they treated his people. The selling of boys and girls is one example of the crimes. It's evidence. Remember the video I said we are evidence of a crime? That called down Yahuwah's wrath. In other words, you devalued my children for your lust and desires. Now we will pay for you for your wickedness. This is Yahuwah, our Father, saying this. Spiritually, this verse warns about a world where people are still sold out for pleasures, where innocent, dignity, and purity are traded for lust, greed, or intoxication. It reminds us that when society treats people as commodities, whether in trafficking, exploitation, or addiction, Yahuwah sees and will bring judgment. It also comforts the faithful. Yahuwah does not ignore when his people are mistreated or degraded. So in short, this shows us that the nations treating Yahuwah's people as worthless, trading children for base pleasure. It exposes the depth of human corruption and is used as evidence for why Yahuwah will judge this wicked nation.